Last time in Polymorph Self, the true chronicle of adventure and skullduggery by Master Sorcerer, Scholar, and people's favourite, Onas Ondiri. After a restful night at the ranger station of Foxglove Lodge, the gang awoke to the sight of the legendary silver fox Hjani, though she turned out to be a self-centered psycho. They agreed to take down the nearby illegal blood poppy operation and, accompanied by a group of meat shields, set off into the Great Wood and found the camp. Bjorn tried to sneak in and capture someone to interrogate, but instead blundered into a hunter with a rabbit on a stick, blowing the whole plan. Luckily, before the hunter could throttle Bjorn's neck like tomorrow's turkey dinner, Onas leapt into the fray and saved his life with his magical shocking grasp, then immediately dispatched another foe with his ray of frost. Meanwhile, Seyda barbarianed the heck out of the battlefield, spattering the theatre of action with limbs and entrails, while Hjani got all butch on the leader of the drug ring.
And apart from the prisoners, you also see these 3 locked sheds. Would anyone like to check them out?
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's check them all out. Loot it.
Okay, you go over to the sheds, sort of smash the locks off easily. They're all just made of wood.
Oh, I couldn't use my open lock skill.
Do you want to leave?
No,
Do you want to stop someone?
Smash the lock. I'm not going to go back in
Yeah,
time.
this is cleanup. After going through the sheds, here's what you 4 find. Because in this time, Hjani and the other 3 soldiers are just sort of keeping an eye on the dogs' bodies and the 2 captured renegade soldiers, and you're looking, and here's what you find. Let me read it out first before we decide what to do with it. In one shed, there's only dried meats and fruits, but these are rations that could last players up to 2 months per player between 4 people. In the second shed, you find strings of blood poppies hanging up to dry.
Ooh.
And in fact, enough that were you, for example, to sell them on the black market, you're legally bound to turn them over, but were you to sell them, for example, they'd be worth 500 gold pieces. So this is clearly a place where they're bringing back some of these poppies.
If we turn them into the proper authorities?
Well, you find out. You don't know because you've never done it, but some form of accolade or experience or something you'd imagine, but I can't reveal exactly what. And in the third, you actually find some booty, an actual item of treasure and 2 pieces of expensive equipment. Inside the third shed, you find a silver chalice with inlay worth 120 gold pieces. There is also a silver holy symbol worth 50 gold pieces, and 2 high-quality bullseye lanterns with hoods worth 20 gold pieces each.
Bullseye lanterns?
Yeah, so it's a sort of square, like, glass lantern. A lantern, like, which is, got glass on 4 sides. And the glass is sort of melted into a kind of a bullseye pattern, so it almost shines like a beam.
Oh, okay.
And it has like a kind of velvet hood over it, so you can kind of like reveal and cover the light. So that's what are in the sheds. Now,
Can you tell me again how much was the holy relic?
yeah, the holy symbol is worth 50 gold pieces.
And the silver chalice?
Is worth 120 gold pieces.
Oh, 120.
Now, you'll have to decide who writes them onto whose sheet, because that's who's holding them for the purposes of getting lost and all that.
Can I see if the holy symbol has any special stuff about it, my knowledge arcana?
Yeah, you can do that. In the
Okay,
meantime, what are you doing, Bjorn?
Oh, I'm just going to ask everybody, like, who wants to be carrying all this stuff?
I'll take one of the bullseye lanterns.
I was going to say, I think the lanterns might be handy just to keep.
All right,
like
you
a
take
lantern
one,
too.
and then you take one, Hjani. I will take the silver chalice, and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, I guess we take all the dried meats between us to have enough rations, and I'll take that holy symbol.
Okay, good. That sounds fine to me. Let's start
poppies.
with... Oh, yeah, that's right.
What about them poppies, you guys?
Hjani walks over and says, well, now, here's the thing, guys. Officially, I've been, like, assigned to this mission to find this place. Now, my mission was only to find the hideout. I think I should probably take the poppies and then hold the fort here and send a couple of my soldiers to go back and make contact with the Foxglove Lodge. In the meantime, maybe you guys could trek around and see where these poppies came from. How about we split it that way? You guys were so awesome in that fight.
Thank you. Look, we know where she is. She's going to be here holding down the fort. I think let's
Is she though?
Let's go and find where they came from.
At the very least, she strikes me as someone who's going to take credit for all of our work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, not if Onas writes the report. Then he takes all the credit.
Maybe we should have Otis write the report right now and just have all of us sign it.
That's a good idea. I can scribble out a quick report and it'll be succinct yet fair.
While he scribbles, can we go take a look through the cabins? Just, is there anything in these cabins worth our time, worth our effort?
Well, apart from the soldiers, there are 9 people who haven't run away or died, and they are just sort of general dog's bodies under the employ of these soldiers. And at the moment, they're all just sort of passively surrendering themselves, essentially. They're just standing out in front of the cabins. They're not going anywhere. They haven't run away like the others.
I want to intimidate the captain, interrogate the captain.
Okay, now you have already intimidated him, so let's have that conversation.
Yeah. Who do you work for?
Oh, actually, while the DM is looking up his notes on that, because he can't see the guy's name, what are Onas and Seyda chatting about?
So this report you're going to write, are you going to mention all of the guys I've chopped in half?
I'm going to be firm but fair in my report. Yep, I see you disemboweled
At least 3 guys.
At least 3 guys. Okay, I'll put that in. I mean, I might have to embellish the narrative somewhat. How about the guy who crapped himself? Do you think?
I think you should definitely put
that'll
that
go in. What happened to that guy anyway? Did he leave a trail behind him?
I think he ran off
We
into
could
the woods.
probably track him down pretty easily.
Do we want to?
I'd like to get his side of the story as well.
Oh.
I mean, what it felt like the moment that he crapped himself, and just how he's going to deal with that.
You go
in
track
his life
that
story.
stinky dog's body. I'm going to stay right here.
I can probably imagine what he's feeling. I'll just work that in as a character.
Okay, and we're back. Hello, Hjani. So the captain's name is my first name is Capo.
Capo.
Yeah, Kapo. I'm an elf, and I'm a captain in the Rangers assigned to Foxglove Lodge. You have caught me.
All right. First of all, Captain Capo.
Yes.
How dare you? How freaking dare you?
Hey, it's tough on the racker. Guys gotta make some gold.
Don't get smart with me, Captain Capo.
Okay.
This is simple here. We just want to find out, who do you work for? Why are you here? Besides smuggling blood poppies, of course, we see that already. But who's the mastermind?
I take full responsibility. I set this hideout up. We don't get paid much.
Don't you think I believe that for a second, Captain Capo?
It's true. I set it up. I take full responsibility.
This is ridiculous, Captain Capo. Don't waste my time.
I urge you to leave my men out of it. I ordered them to do this.
Why would you do that, Captain Capo? Tell me that.
As you know, we live in a kingdom where 8 months of the year is in winter, ruled by those of noble blood, and long nights. And this blood poppy that grows in our own land, this is our right. This belongs to us. We can use this to relieve the darkness of the winter, the boredom of life, the hardship of life on the frontier. And I don't think it's any nobles to take it away from us. I think this is it's part of our culture. They're not going to miss this.
I'm getting bored, Captain Capo.
It's true. I do this for the drugs.
Oh my goodness.
Excuse me, Captain Capo. How primo is this shit?
This which shit? You mean this is uncut? This is good shit. This is good shit.
Look, okay.
You know,
Captain
if you guys let me out of this and mum's the word, it's yours. You know.
Please. Did you see our barbarian just completely carve somebody in half? Do you think she cares about drugs? She doesn't need drugs.
I don't need drugs, that's true. But
Some of us do.
Like, ignoring the 2 deadweights that we have on the team.
What are we going to do with this guy? I don't know.
I
kind of see his point. You know?
I don't believe him. Look, okay, so there's no possible way that one person can be in this entire thing, right? You have to have someone who's part of the distribution. You have to be someone who's like actually creating the drug from this, because it's not like you just turn blood poppies into magic blood sauce, off the top of your head, right? So
Hjani is right in that you know that there are 3 stages: finding the flowers, then the kind of processing them into the raw narcotic, and then they get sent off to be charmed and blessed and turned into a potion as the potion's key ingredient. But you're right, you do need someone who's a skilled alchemist to do the first stage even.
And none of these people look like skilled alchemists. And so basically, Captain Capo is not giving someone up right now. And I am getting close to using my intimidate to possibly torture a little bit.
But I don't understand why we need this information. We came here, we stopped the ring. I don't want this guy to... You've seen the nobles, you've seen the elven nobles. Like, I kind of see Captain Capo's point. Like, this is stuff that grows in the ground here.
Look,
It's
order...
not...
Hippie.
Order
How far up the line
is
do you
there.
want to take this, Hjani?
You never know how far up the line we're going to have to go in the future, and I don't want this ruining it for any of us.
Hey, what the fuck did I do?
Okay, listen, guys. You beat us fair and square. You've got us. I'm willing to face the punishment. I will give you something. I will put you on the trail to the place where our scout brought back these blood poppies. Okay, it's only about 5 miles north of here. It's in a grove halfway up this sort of this steep hillside you see behind us. I could get my guy here. He points to the surviving soldier. To lead you up there, at least put you on the trail. I will give up our supply. You can map the location, go back, report it. They can come and officially take it. It's all done, and then I will take my punishment. I fully cooperate. I will show you the way. I'll point you towards the.
Hey, maybe if
the source.
Hjani hasn't overheard what we've been talking about here, maybe we should leave her here so that she's under the impression she's, so she does double cross us and try and take credit for everything, and we go off and find the source of this stuff. Then we're going to get the glory, and we're going to get more blood poppies, and we're going to have a bit more of an adventure.
I agree with that. At the same time, I don't think just the source is enough. I also want to find out who you're selling this to.
Do you remember the meat shield who said the human one who worked on the riverboats?
Mm-hmm.
He's not one of the one who died.
Okay.
And he turns around and says, he's been standing by you guys, and he says, "Hey, Hjani, you're really smart. I think you're right. I've heard of alchemists in Linake who do deal in this thing, who take these deliveries, and if you know where they are, you can get a score. I think you might be right. This sounds pretty good to me. But
Good.
what do I
person
know?
on my side.
I'm but a young boatman's son.
Yeah. Are you guys on board with this or
Hang on,
not?
what are
Are we
you
going to get
saying?
to the sort of this?
Are you saying we get the source to,
I
do
want to
good,
know
or we get
how
the source
this
we can sell more
whole
blood?
thing works. I don't care what we do with it afterwards, as long as it's lawful.
All right, if we do this, can we then go and get the ornithopter? That's...
I am willing to shut down this poppy field and then just go get the ornithopter. I don't
Yeah.
want to go and track down people who've really done no wrong other than, maybe
Done
take
no
another blood poppy.
wrong.
What about the guy you just ripped the guts out of? What did
They're
he do?
running
That
an
was-
illegal business,
Wait.
which, okay, we shut
Wait,
it
wait,
down,
wait,
but
wait.
I don't want to keep tracking this. We're not the drug squad. We're
Done
just a crack
no
team.
wrong. This is possibly the worst thing
Crack's
that
a
you
kind of
can
drug.
do in this kingdom.
I think the worst thing you can do
Legally.
in this kingdom
What,
is...
taking Poppy out of the mouth of some inbred rich
Thank
fox?
you.
Can I just say this part of the this episode isn't going to be in my write-up because it's going to lose the reader, I think. It's kind of a very...
While we debate
Yeah.
after your
What's an
politics.
episode?
well, I'm writing now.
Oh.
This thing I'm
chapter of
scribbling.
It's not going to be
Chapter.
included in this chapter of your upcoming book.
Well, my upcoming book and the report I'm currently writing as well, while
Okay.
speaking,
I tell you,
multitasking.
there hasn't been a book that I've been so excited not to buy in a while.
Okay.
Hjani Kitu comes back over and says, "So, do we have a deal? You're going to go off and find the next part, and I'll hold the fort here. Look, I'm going to be right here. I'll just send
do
my guy here.
Yeah.
All right,
Back to
guys,
Foxglove
I have
Lodge.
a lot to talk to you about, but I don't want to talk about it right now. So,
Hey,
fine.
Hjani, I'm Silver Fox, Hjani Kitu. I will tie this guy up, put him in one of those sheds, and he'll be right here when you get back.
Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Hjani.
Okay, we'll shut down where they're getting the poppy from, but then I think this is over. Let's go track down that sweet ornithopter.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out of this camp at least.
It's about midday. Yeah, you marched. Yeah, part of the morning. You had the battle. You've done all your cleanup and your interrogating.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I just check if there is anything with that holy relic that I got?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
just wanna see
sorry.
if
What's
there's-
your Arcana bonus?
Okay, my knowledge arcana bonus is 2.
Okay, you have to get a 15.
Roll. I got a 4.
Okay, I'm going to allow you to re-roll that for the sake of, I want to hear that dice rolling on the table for the podcast.
Yeah, that was just kind of a plot.
I didn't hear that. It doesn't
was
count.
a damp squib. Here we go. Let's see. Oh, a 17. You were right. That was much better. Yeah.
Okay.
Solid.
It is a common holy symbol. It's kind of like a cross like an even cross, like a plus sign.
Yes.
With a circle around it, where the plus sign bits sort of peek outside of the circle. It's made of like 90% pure silver. And you've seen this before.
10%.
You don't know because you haven't done your successful knowledge check
Is
like
it from the
Onas.
Church of Jesus Christ?
Onas, so it's a common and legitimate holy symbol of temples in your kingdom, which could be used by a cleric to turn the undead.
Oh, okay. But specifically a cleric.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what you know. Okay, one of the thugs and one of the soldiers lead you over to the north side where you see the cliff. And they explain that if you climb up this one part where you can see there are sort of vines, roots, and ropes, and then follow the brook north, that eventually, as long as you stay on the brook, eventually you're going to hit a slope and one of the trees is marked with a big white X. And he said when you reach that, just at the head of the slope in front is a grove with a big fallen tree, and that's where this stuff grows.
That's Grove. Go. Sorry, go.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Here we go. Would you like to take any of your soldiers with you, or just the four of you's fine?
That's,
4 of us, fine.
Yeah, let's leave the meat
Yeah,
shields.
we don't need that.
It's the crack team in action
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
C team in A.
You sort of scramble using the vines and the roots up the earthen cliff, and you follow the brook deep into the forest. And after about, say, 2 to 3 hours of sort of like forced march along the side of the brook, you do in fact see a large pine tree among the many trees on this sort of hillside. You keep going up like rises and flats as you're sort of going up the elevation, and you do see an obvious big white X on a tree beside the grove. But what you also see there are a couple of discarded backpacks at the foot of the tree. And the brook is sort of now coming in front of you. It's running towards you down a kind of steep wooded incline. So you are now at the marked tree with the brook sort of coming towards you, but going up the incline in front of you. And there's these 2 discarded packs on the ground. And you're in this sort of, you're right in the middle of this sort of vast forest, It's all kind of like silent apart from some birds cheeping and stuff like that.
well, somebody with great backpack rifling skills should probably go through those backpacks.
Let's
You
have a
mean
rifle.
hands? Yes,
know,
all right,
just in
let's look
case
through them. Yes. What do we
there's
what do we got in
traps.
these backpacks?
All right, who would like to check the backpacks?
Me.
Okay. Okay, so Bjorn, you approach the backpacks. You see that they are both standard sort of leather backpacks. You open them up. There are stuff like some packs of rations, some climbing spikes, like a hunting knife. They look like kits for people who might be trekking through the forest to this location, but they have been, dropped here, and whoever they belong to has not come back. Because you could check for like tracks and signs to see if people have been here recently or anything like that if you want to, but that's all you can discern from the packs.
Perhaps we should check for tracks of people or things who have been here recently.
Good idea.
looking at my stuff that I've got.
And also we get to add more to our rations. I don't even know
2
how.
months worth.
I remember
Yeah.
Seyda having a bit of success with that before. What's your
I have a little bit of
survival?
survival +4.
Okay, well, you have to be a 15 to ascertain what's happening in this
Okay.
soft ground.
Let's see. Oh, that's a 14 +4 is 18.
Okay, Seyda, you guys keep quiet while Seyda stalks around the area, checks for tracks, broken twigs and signs, and you discern that there were in fact 2 people here, possibly within a day, like 24 hours. The tracks are old, but they're still in the soft parts of the forest floor, where there's like, rotting vegetation next to where the brook comes down. And you can see, 2 people came here, dropped their packs, and then went up the hillside, following the brooks up ahead, but have been gone what seems to be a day or maybe a bit more.
Okay. That's what I see. I think maybe we should follow these tracks.
Sounds good to me.
Do we want to take the backpacks just in case?
Yeah,
of
sure. We
course.
could
Let's
always
take
use
these,
backpacks.
Take
Yeah.
these B-packs.
Okay, who's holding these?
I've got
Backpacks.
a backpack.
I'm
There's,
not taking it.
there's only 2, right?
Yeah.
All right. I can take the second backpack.
In what order are you going to ascend the hillside? You've been waiting for that for like a long time.
I will ascend first because I'm climby and I'm quiet.
Okay, it's like a steep hillside, but like taking care of your footing, occasionally putting your hand on a tree trunk. And we've all done this in our life. You can you don't have to climb, but you kind of steadily and carefully ascend, basically. Mm-hmm. So Bjorn's first. Who's next?
I'll do second then, because I'm probably the second most quiet.
I'll take the last one.
Well, I guess I'll go third, just in case anyone needs to have their head turned into a snowball again.
You climb about 100 feet up the steep hillside before it starts to level off into another sort of flat area. And here is what you see. Peering over the top of the rise, you look into a dim section of forest. Up ahead, you can make out a circular grove, shrouded in shadow and lit with diffused green light from the canopy above. Beyond it, the hillside rises sharply again. Up there on the hillside, streams run out of 3 small cave entrances. They run down into the grove and turn it into a large wet bog. The ground is stuffed with blackened leaves and spines and all manner of rotting vegetation. Splitting the grove in two is a massive fallen tree trunk. The branches and leaves have long since gone, and large chunks of the trunk have rotted away to black abscesses. In stark contrast to the muted colours of the grove, the fallen tree trunk is covered in bright red spots. It is, as is much of the ground directly beside it. You look again, the red spots are blood poppies. There are hundreds of them. You take a breath. This place is silent as the grave.
And this is where we think these the 2 people went to? We've been tracking them?
Mm-hmm. That's where they went to. Is there any sign of them?
From where you are, you only see exactly what I just described.
What are we going to do with these poppies when we get to them? Are we going to destroy them? Are we going to destroy this?
I don't actually know enough about how blood poppies are cultivated.
Well, we don't destroy them. We
report them, right?
Yeah, we report them so that they can be properly cultivated by the legal authorities.
Categorized, yes, by the taxed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so keeping the same order, you're going to move towards the grove.
Yes.
I'm gonna keep quiet up front.
Me too.
You spend about just 1 or 2 minutes just carefully and quietly walking, and the more you go through, the more wide the gaps are between the trees, but the boggier the ground becomes. Eventually you get to the side of this circular grove, which ends as it hits the hillside. And you notice the hillside beyond it is quite rocky. You see rocks coming through the sort of soil, and there's these 3 caves sort of quite high up where the brooks start. The tree is like really, really big. It's got to be like 80 foot tall. It's massive, but it's obviously ancient. It's all rotted away, and it's really covered in these flowers. Also, you see, maybe also to do with the conditions, lots of sort of like cockroach and bug looking insects sort of all over this area. And that sort of reminds Onas specifically, who's a bit more studied in these things, that you remember that in the conditions which are perfect for blood poppies to be found, it's also, you find a lot of sort of large centipedes and cockroaches and sort of insects thrive in that too. So that seems to gel in your mind. It seems legit.
Okay.
Now it's really quiet in here, and you kind of stop and you're looking around, and then Hjani looks off to her right, and just through the trees you notice off to the side of you there appears to be a body of someone lying face down in some boggy ground just off to your side.
Guys, gross.
What, the centipedes?
No, the dead
millipedes?
bodies.
Oh.
Dead body.
Okay. I kind of gingerly.
Only Hjani has seen this, and Bjorn's right in reacting that way when you said it.
Yeah, I gingerly kind of kick the dead body.
Oh, it's several feet away from you. You'd have to walk. You just spotted it over there in among the trees to the right.
All right, so perception check. Is there that?
Now that is a really good idea. What is your perception bonus?
I'm looking for it right now. Wait, is that a skill in this one, or?
That's a good thing. It might be spot, right? Or
spot.
I don't have a character sheet in front of me, and I'm terrible.
It's a spot.
With this
It's
version.
a spot, so I only have a +1 to it. But all right, so I'm gonna roll for perception.
Does it say perception or?
For spot? Sorry.
You make a spot check around the
Yeah,
area, and you got +1, so you're trying to beat a 15.
Oh, okay.
General.
Don't beat a 15. I only got a 9 + 1, 10.
You all sort of don't move, don't say anything, and Hjani looks over, and you You sort of take in the
And I'm
stillness,
like-
you look around, and you can't see anything untoward there.
I throw my hands up. Seems all right to me.
Get over there then.
So I walk over and I kind of nudge the body over with my toe, or at least I go over to nudge the body with my toe.
Okay, so you guys sort of hold at the edge by the brook. Hjani walks off into the trees. You watch her sort of stalk over to where the body is. Now, you look down. You notice that the body is completely headless.
Oh.
And not only sort of headless inside, it is really like gone cleanly from the shoulders up. And the head is nowhere in sight. And you also didn't make your spot check,
No.
so something's about to happen. What is your AC as it's listed there as flat-footed?
My AC listed as flat-footed. Oh, 12.
From the point of view of everyone who's not Hjani, you watch her stalk over to this body. She stops, she looks down, sees something you can't see, which is weird about the body. At that moment, it seems like a sort of like tree/large plant next to her, which you thought was a green plant standing there, starts to like move. And these sort of long green sort of, I think the technical word is fronds, right? Like palm leaves are actually kind of like hooked arms. And what you all see before Hjani does is that what it's actually is a giant praying mantis, twice as tall as any people that you are, is hiding out right there, perfectly still amongst the foliage. And this thing is massive. It's a beast. It's like double your height. It's each one of its arms is as tall as you are and hooks. And it's right behind Hjani as she looks down at the headless corpse and essentially tries to hook you in its two arms. Now, you see this happening suddenly. You get surprised by it.
Dun, dun, dun.
This has claws +6 to
Oh.
both strike you and put you in a grapple.
Oh.
So what's your AC?
12.
12.
Flat-footed.
Flat-footed is 12, right?
What do you
Okay.
want your tombstone to say?
That is 18 plus 6 is 24. So its two huge forearms grab you, crush you with a lot of power and hold you. And the damage of this is 1d8 plus 4.
Oh, goodness.
Boy.
Now, what hit points do you have?
14.
Okay, so it can't kill you outright.
I
But-
can't kill him.
By the way, in this system, we have never come across this before. If you get reduced to 0 to -9, you're unconscious and disabled. And that's where the skill heal comes in. If someone gets to you and does a successful heal check, you are then stabilized. If you don't get stabilized, you lose a point every round. And if you fall below -9, you're dead forever. Right? So anyway, so I'm going to roll this here. That is a 4. A 4 plus 4, right?
So -8.
You take 8 points of crushing damage and you are pinned by this thing. And if someone doesn't do something, it's going to try and remove your
If only someone could hack.
head from your
It's-
shoulders.
We need someone who can do some hacking.
Now, here's the thing. Before I go to Hjani trying to retaliate herself, I'm going to give each of you, one by one, 5 seconds to come up with what action it is that you do, starting with Onas.
Okay, I am going to try and daze the creature with my daze.
With your daze spell. Now, I'll have to look up if that is
Yeah,
applicable on animals in a
yeah.
moment, but that's your action. We'll get to
That's
that.
what I'm going to try and
Seyda,
do.
Throwing axe.
you're going to use your throwing axe to try and distract or hit it and stop it biting her head off. Bjorn,
Just gonna run up to the thing and stab it with my short sword.
and get in there. Okay, so they'll get those actions before we get to Hjani. Now, while I am quickly looking up if daze can work, I want to know what is going on in Bjorn's internal monologue when he saw this thing come alive. Do your best.
Fuck! They came out of no. You guys, this is inner monologue. It's a praying man, slaying man. Oh, no puns.
Okay, the spell works on humanoid creatures, so unfortunately, you're not going to be able to use it here. You don't lose the spell. You just
Sure, but
you
I
just
just
can't have
wasted-
that action. That's
wasted
okay. Seyda has a throwing axe.
Good job, Onas.
Its AC is 14.
Okay. My throwing axe is +5,
Okay.
which is nice. 5 plus 5 is only 10.
Okay, you throw your axe, but it embeds in a tree that blocks your way, which leaves Bjorn running over there to try and stab into it.
With my +1 attack bonus with my short sword.
Yep.
Here we go. That's a 5. And total 6.
Okay, I'm just going to say that you just can't get there in time. So
That's nice of you.
that means that Hjani basically, yeah, it's very generous. Hjani, that means you're going to have your are you going to be able to reach for a weapon and get a hit in to make it? If you
Okay.
successfully hit, it'll drop you, basically.
Okay, so I guess the weapon I can reach for is a longsword, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to alarm you, but if you fail to hit it, that means it can try and roll for the
Yeah.
bite,
Yeah, I have like 4 hit
which
points
is
left,
it's a bite +3, and it's 1d6 plus 1.
minus
You have
9
4 hit
as well.
points. No,
Yeah.
you have 6 hit points left, right?
No, because I already lost 2 in the last battle. I don't think we healed.
Oh, that's right. Oh, it's a good job you told me that now. Anyway, we're for the listeners back home. All these rolls are happening in the open, so if somebody died, it's not being fudged, right? And so
This is true.
this is true. So can
God damn it,
Hjani
I'm not exploring anything
get
ever
dropped?
again.
That's okay. So its AC is 14. You're going to try and reach down. You're kind of crushed, so that accounts for why it's still hard for you to hit it, to get the sword out and stab it. What's your bonus on your
It's
longsword?
normally a +5.
You still get that. That's based on your strength and your cunning and your skills, so that's
Okay.
fine. So its AC is 14. Can you draw that sword out and stab it?
Can I?
Oh.
So 4 + 5, 9. No. Nope.
Okay.
9.
Now, what's your flat-footed AC again?
12.
Okay, it's got you in this grapple. So it's bite +3. It's going to try and bite you. 8 + 3 is 11.
Ah.
So
okay, so
you
just
you get your sword out, but you can't get a hit in. But as it comes down to just like this huge mantis head to bite your head off the shoulders, you manage to get the flat of your sword with your palm against it in between you and its head, and it kind of like bashes its sort of nose area into the sword and retracts. So you do manage just to deflect that. And it throws you down onto the ground and like flaps its wings, which it doesn't really like fly much, but it's got these wings that come out and flap, and it rears up as the rest of you, Bjorn, arrives. So now Bjorn, you guys are still standing far away. So let me get your actions before I go to Bjorn actually arriving. Hjani's on the floor, all kind of like
What happened
crushed.
to that sword of hers? Is it in her hands? Or
It's
is
in
it-
her hands. You're. What are you going to do now? You're still at a distance.
Yeah, sure. I'm just wondering if there's anything I can use my my hand of the mage for. It's a telekinesis thing. It's normally just to move things, but would I be able to use it to maybe hold one of its claws back or?
I'm going to give you 5
That's what I'm
seconds to
doing.
try
I'm
something.
trying it.
You're going to
That's
try
what I'm
and use
trying
that
it, yeah.
to control
I'm
its.
just going to try and use that to stop it.
Okay.
I'm trying to stop you being
That
stabbed.
thing's really weak, dude.
No second guessing or commenting. That's what he's going to try and do.
What else?
The DM always rewards creativity or ideas in some way, so let's see what happens. Seyda,
I'm going to run in with my greatsword. It's not very creative, but it's worked.
okay, so you didn't quite make it with the axe. You're going to run in there. Bjorn, you arrive. Make another attack with your
Short sword.
sword, yeah.
Gonna take another swing with my +1 attack bonus. That's a 6 and 7 total.
Okay, now wait for a moment before I give the full description of what happens. That's 7 total, right? What's your AC?
That sounds bad. My AC is 15.
Okay, claw +6. So 12 + 6 is 18. You run in with your short sword. You let out a roar, and you go in to stab it. As you go to stab it, it just bats you with this huge serrated forearm for 8 points of damage.
I earned it.
Oh boy.
It absolutely beats you black and blue, and that was its attack. So that allows Hjani to basically like crawl back, get to her feet out of range. So you did take one for the team. Meanwhile, Seyda runs in. It turns around with its second claw and possible bite attack, but at that moment, some strange magical force is pulling at it from afar that as an insect, it has no idea what it is. And it sort of cocks its head inquisitively, even though it's only got nerve centers and it's not really being inquisitive. Its head is obviously being pulled, and for a moment, it gets distracted at least, and Seyda can just run in, catch it, also on a sort of flat-footed attack, making its AC 12.
Okay. Greatsword is +4. That is a 19 again.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Excellent. So that's 2d6 + 2 times 2.
Okay.
My 2d6 are 2 6s. That's 12 + 2 is 14. What's that times 2? That's
12,
28.
14, 28. Oh my god, because it's a 26 hit point monster. The DM is disappointed. He thought you were getting a deadly challenge. And at that moment, Onas used his hand to the mage to distract it momentarily, enough for Seyda, with this huge two-handed piece of sharpened steel greatsword, which is like 5 feet long. And she just literally plows it with all her strength. Her sort of legs are sort of, crouched down. All her body's talking into it. And this just smashes its exoskeleton in 3 places. Green goo is just spraying out, and the thing just collapses like a pack of cards. And Seyda is standing over it with her sword and all her face sprayed with sort of black and green entrails and juices.
And then it shits itself.
I have that effect on everything.
You did good, Seyda.
I know I'm talking about open roles and balancing and fun of the story, but I'm actually getting like DM disappointment that I failed to challenge, kill, or more severely. You guys have been acing all your.
I could have died.
It was pretty close.
Oh, the two party members have been severely crushed by this thing. You've defeated this thing with a critical intervention by Onas's mage hand. So we'll not hear any.
I think that calls for a high five.
Yeah. Get that on.
With the mage hand?
With the mage hand.
Touch the crinkly old hand.
Yeah.
You have
put it back in its pickle now.
You have defeated this mantis with authority.
Fuck you, man.
All right, I'm back down to like no hit points.
Anyone want to heal? Perhaps we should.
We don't have any. I'm just going to grab my throwing axe
I've got
as
nothing
well.
to heal with.
Oh, so when I was like, hey, we should stock up on healing potions, everyone was just like, let's rush on ahead.
I think you've learned your lesson about maybe being a bit more persuasive.
Okay,
You intimidate us into buying more healing potions.
Can't we? Can we like patch them up?
So despite Bjorn and Hjani being sort of injured, it's now quiet again. You've defeated this mantis, and in front of you is this grove and fallen tree. Now there are 3 caves, and you still haven't found one of the 2 people. You found one of the 2 backpack holders. By the way, checking out this guy's clothes, he's dressed in the manner of the hunters and dogs' bodies from the hideout that you raided. So there might be something in the caves. Now, you don't have specific knowledge about this. You don't have any healing stuff on you now, but you do have a massive abundance of these narcotic poppies, which may or may not have stabilizing properties, but you don't have any regular healing stuff on you at the moment. So there's the grove, the poppies, the cave, and the corpse. Let me take your actions. Onas.
I'm going to walk up to the mouth of the closest cave.
Looking down at my notes, it seems that the giant praying mantis is worth 1,000 experience points.
Oh.
Which means everybody gets 250, right?
Oh, wow.
How are we doing on that? How many does that take you guys up to?
7, 10, 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're about another 700 off leveling up to level 3, right? So you're closing in now. That's awesome. Okay, so Onas, there are 3 caves, 2 lowers and 1 highers. They each have, they're each quite small, like you'd have to bend down to get in there. And they each have these sort of brooks flowing out of them down the hillside. So would you like to go to which one? Like the 2 lower ones or the higher one?
Yeah, it'll be the lower, whichever lower one's closest.
Okay, so I'm going to, okay. Seyda.
I want to look at these poppies and see if they have any healing properties. Could I use my survival?
You could. Survival includes knowledge of flora and fauna and basic herbal properties. And you do have some, you've heard stuff. The thing about these poppies is that because they're illegal, restricted, and have special use, it's kind of like information is not taught, but you could look around the environment and try and ascertain something. Bjorn?
I just want the pain to stop.
Yeah, you're going, You've got a hell of a bruise coming out right across your face and down one shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know. I just want to kind of hang back and see what happens with this guy at the mouth of the cave. And wait, you were just checking what the...
I'm going to see if these poppies can heal.
He's looking for a solution to help you. And Hjani?
I'm not thinking straight. I nearly just got like decapitated by a praying mantis. I just grab a close poppy and shove it into my mouth.
Okay, so you just sort of like crawl into the grove, find a poppy, and just poppy, heal me.
Something's going to happen.
You just start sucking on a poppy. By the way, don't forget, hasn't been like refined. You don't really have an idea how many poppies you'd need to make a narcotic, but you also do know that, as in the real world, certain flowers and roots and plants can have very powerful effects, certain mushrooms and stuff like that, right? So who knows? So that's
sometimes flowers.
Something happens.
So I've got your actions, right? Yeah. So let's go through them one by one. I want to start with Seyda. So what's your survival again?
My survival is +4.
Okay, so a 15 check. Yeah.
Let's go. That's 19.
Okay, you look around. You notice 2 things about this. Your training, your knowledge, your experience of the land, being a barbarian with good survival skills, starts clicking in, and you follow a certain insect, like a blue-shelled beetle that you notice. And you remember that they're also attracted in these bogs and certain plants grow. And looking around, apart from the poppies, you also find these kind of like roots and creepers with these kind of yellowy flowers on around the edges. And you know they do have medicinal purposes, and they don't like heal people magically, but they can be used to stabilize people or relieve pain. So you do find a kind of stabilizing route, which would probably be more useful if someone was unconscious or disabled. But
I'm still going to pick up
it'll give it like a kind of bonus to your healing.
Okay.
So just write it down as healing route for now, and if you try and use it, I'll award you a bonus for stabilizing people.
How many? Just one?
Enough for 5 doses. Okay. At the same time as you see Hjani stuffing one in her mouth, you also start to remember and look at the poppies and try and get an idea about what effect they are. They're narcotic. They're like small flowers, and you're like, oh, I remember. It's partially in the seeds and partially in the plant, but actually the red paste they leave the leaves in just to give it the color, but most of it comes from the seeds, and like one seed actually gives like a fairly strong narcotic dose, and there's usually 10 to 20 seeds in a poppy, and you've just seen Hjani like pop an entire plant, which brings me to Hjani. At first you're just like, oh, it's a bitter tasting flower, but just to keep you in the picture, as these are doing their items across the next 5 minutes, the red of the poppies on the trees turn into shining, snaking, weird beacons and flashing lights and dragons snaking up. The trees are looming over you like they're alive. And basically you're tripping balls, and the whole place is coming alive. That's right. It's just the place is coming alive like a kind of kaleidoscope to you. And you feel, you're not getting healed, but you feel amazing. You feel invincible, you're warm, you're cocooned. It's like you were never injured in your mind, neurally, but you are injured still. And everything just looks awesome, and you just feel so relaxed and happy. But also, you're not really like speaking or active. It's all going on in your head. When people look at you, I know this is a visual thing, it's a podcast, you just look like this.
That's a blank face.
A sort of slightly satisfied, borderline blank face, and staring weirdly. In your mind, you're kind of like, dancing in the proverbial lava lamp, and all this weird shit's going on all around you. Now, let's go to Onas. You climb up to the caves, and you immediately see in the wet, boggy ground around the brook coming out that one of them clearly has footprints going into it. Okay. You cautiously track in, and just inside this shallow cave, which is lit by this kind of light, the light in here is like green and diffused through the canopy. Okay. And it just casts a shadow in enough to see another person lying sort of face down, dead without a head, just inside the mouth of the cave. And you see next to his body he appears to have a small wooden box.
Oh, wow. I'm going to grab that box and have a look in the box whilst trying not to look at the decapitated mess at the top of the body.
You walk just in, and you're sort of looking carefully around. It's quite a low cave, and
right.
The back end of it appears to be like dripping from the walls with the groundwater, and it's forming into pools and flowing out in this small stream. Yeah, and you see the box, you pick it up, and you open it, and it contains 3 vials of colourful liquid, each marked with magical symbols. Now, make a knowledge arcana check.
Sure will.
12 difficulty.
Okay, 12 difficulty.
What's your bonus?
My bonus is 2 on the knowledge arcana. Here we go. I rolled a 7.
Okay, well, since you got all the time in the world, you can always check. You're sure they are magical potions, but at the moment you can't quite decipher the codes on the labels.
It's dark in there, and there's dripping. It's putting me off. I need
to bring it out into the
light.
light.
Yeah, I need to bring it out into the light and have a good look at it.
Okay, you walk out of the light holding this box. You look around. You see Seyda examining the fauna. You see Bjorn sitting around, sort of having a rest. And then you see Hjani sort of weirdly staring into the space and not doing anything, and she's drooling. That's what you see. Okay, with the light, make another check.
Okay, yeah, I'd rather just concentrate on these files rather than what's going on with all those losers. I rolled a 17 on that check.
Okay, in the better light, you look at these magic symbols and you figure out these are fairly common, well-known magical potions, each of which just have a 1-dose use. That they've clearly been, this box has clearly been stolen from some sorcerer or university's lab. They're marked, they're in a box, this. At some point in his life, this guy is sort of he's sort of stolen these and he keeps them on him all the time because they're as precious or whatever to plagiarize a phrase. One of them is a potion of invisibility.
Oh, Okay.
Can be drunk by anyone, and it confers invisibility on you for a period of time until you touch another living person or go into combat. One is a potion of protection from normal arrows, which means you drink it and then it will allow you to absorb magically up to 20 points of damage from arrows. So any arrow that hits you, any damage up to 20 doesn't count. You're magically protected. So you can just walk around as you can, run up to people who are shooting at you and.
Oh, or next time I have an argument with Hjani, I can.
You can drink that and go bring it on. That's right. Yeah. And the final one is a potion of Cure Moderate Wounds, which when drank restores 2d8 points of damage.
Wow.
And it has 1 dose for 1 person.
Better save that for when someone's really seriously injured and not tripping balls.
So now you are in the grove with your findings.
Oh, well, I'm going to, if I've still got something to do, I'm going to go and kneel down next to Hjani and try and get her to focus on me from amidst her drug-induced haze and administer the cure potion.
The cure potion will cure her physical wounds, but you're not sure it will...
Yeah, she's pretty wounded. I think I'll give it to her, and then when she wakes up, she'll be
Bjorn looks at you like longingly. Okay, you hold open Hjani's jaw and pour the potion in there, and she does eventually start drinking it.
Shh, and wipe her brow as well as I
you do
tenderly
that.
cradle her.
You do that.
And then laugh a bit.
Hjani, from your point of view, you don't have any idea what's going on.
A dragon's helping me.
Yeah. Fairies are flying.
Just that one meat shield just going like, picture yourself in my dad's boat on the river.
Okay, so roll 2d8 to see how many hit points are healed.
Is it a D8
That's
here?
a d8 and get another d8.
I roll this or?
Yep, you're administering the potion.
Love potion number D8. 7 and an 8, so that's 15.
How many
Amazing.
total damage had you taken, including the previous fight?
10, so he heals me straight up.
Okay, you are completely healed of all damage, but you are still tripping balls. For an indeterminate amount of time, unknown to you. Oh, by the way, also, Hjani is unwilling and incapable of standing up or moving places. If you try and pick her up, she just goes, wee, and just falls in your arms, and her legs are just buckled, basically.
Right.
I'm going to pick up Hjani. Can I try and pick her up and take her somewhere?
What is your strength?
My strength is 15, the +2 modifier.
Yeah, at 15 strength, it's totally fine for you with your current equipment to sort of hold Hjani in a fireman's lift or whatever
I'm the Earth Mother.
and carry her. So you are carrying Hjani.
Mm-hmm.
Bjorn, how many hit points damage did you take?
I took 8.
Out of how many total?
11.
Oops. I only have one of those potions.
I don't
I'm
care.
sorry.
You all notice that that half of Bjorn's face is covered in an increasingly large blue and black contusion, and his nose is bleeding, and he appears to be slurring his words occasionally with some form of concussion.
I didn't know it was that
I
bad.
didn't notice anything different about him.
Hey, you said you found a man in the cave. How did he die?
It was another decap. Ooh. Yeah. So I think it was probably the mantis that did it.
All right, fine.
Do you want to go and check? See
No,
if there's
no,
another mantis up there?
Maybe I wasn't listening earlier when you shouted from the cave, hey, there's a decap fella up here.
I didn't, but I'm telling you now. He's up there.
I'm in pain.
I think...
I have some healing roots, but I don't think they're going to help much. Would you like one?
Okay, you use one of your doses, which you previously ascertained that it wouldn't really be that good at curing, but it would stabilize people. So you don't get any hit points back, but your headache clears up, you get some pain relief, and you feel you can ably get back to the camp without any problems. So it's more like it allows you to function normally despite your wounds, but you don't get healed.
Is that what we should do, or is there anything else that we can discover here?
Well, Seyda, shall we go and check out those other 2 caves as well?
I gotta say, I don't think we needed to kill anybody at that camp. The mantis just pretty much took care of their entire operation.
Mantis are nature's...
There's another guy without a head up there. We should go and check that out.
I don't really want... I've got Hjani on
Okay,
me,
well, I did pretty well with that place.
I'm going to
go check out the other caves. I'm going to go and, if you hear me squeal, then drop her.
Pop her down and...
But before you go, I want to... Mantises are nature's what?
They're nature's police.
Okay, good. I did want to go back and get to the bottom of that one.
Talk nonsense and drink water before we start.
thought that's what you were doing the entire time.
Yeah, it was there. I left it open for you. I left it open.
Back of the net.
Back of the net.
Quiet.
Awesome. Okay, so you are in the grove. You have the potions. You've got a Hjani on Seyda's shoulders, tripping balls, and you are ready to head back to the hideout. So are we going there, or do you have anything
were
else?
we going to
I
explore
thought
those other
you were
caves?
going to explore the caves.
Yeah, I was going to check those
While
other
you
caves
stand
out.
there with Hjani
I've
on
got
your
Hjani
on
on
your
my
back.
shoulder.
I'm going up there, and if there's any trouble, I'll holler, and you just drop that dead weight and come running up and save me.
The other two caves, one of them is empty of anything of interest, but the third one has skulls, bones, and bits and pieces, which are long since rotted.
Does the cave? Can I see the back of it from where I am, or does it look like?
Yeah,
it
it's really.
goes on?
It just first of all you have to stoop to get into it,
Right.
and then it's wet, and then it just tapers into a sort of tiny hole where the water's leaking out of.
Well,
These are not huge caves.
okay, and there's enough light. I've got my low light vision. I can see in there without having to use any kind of light.
Yeah, you already spotted and explored the one which had
Yeah.
the things in it.
Yeah. Okay, so I kick about in those bones just to check there's nothing in there, but I guess there's not.
No, it's some
Bones.
bug food.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back and join these other trippy injured losers.
Now we take it as read that when you leave this place that you know the way back. You follow the brook you see the tree from the hideout. If you can find the hideout, you can find the thing. So we'll just take it as known that when you eventually go back, if you choose to report the location of this, then you will be able to give a location, okay? Within 2 hours, just as you're losing light and the darkness is coming back, you are back at the hideout where you see how many meat shields were left? 3. Hjani Kitu sent one off back to the Foxglove Lodge, which means there should be her and 2 of them. What you see is no sign of Hjani Kitu. You see 2 of the meat shields. The renegade soldier and captain are still sort of tied up and sort of sat with their backs against one of the cabins. The other dogs' bodies are not running away, not doing anything. They're not resisting either. And everyone's just waiting. And the human son of a boatman says, you're back. I have a message for you. Hjani Kitu said she fully trusted in your abilities to find the spot and to make it back, and that everything was secure here and it was all no big deal. So she's just going to get on back to the town and, she'll see you back there.
I'm going to give her such a smacking.
I'm high, but I don't trust that bitch.
Well, let's stay here for the night and then go back to the camp.
I want to stay here for the night, then, head back. To town, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's tie up some loose ends.
That poppy's had a long-term effect on her. I thought it was only going to be
2 hours? 2 hours. She's going to be tripping for a while.
Oh, is she going to
Here's the
sleep?
seed ratio
She had,
thing.
she had like 10,
Oh,
10
okay.
seeds.
Can we just give her one cabin to herself? Just let her... Just let her sweat
This is
it
my
out.
spirit journey.
Is there anything else that you feel you need before you
Well, we should
crash
speak
for the
to
night?
that. We didn't get some time alone with that captain, did we? I mean, the ranger guy that was in the standoff with Hjani. Should we?
No,
maybe-
he's basically groggy and falling asleep and tired and tied up right now.
Oh, everyone wants to go
Get
to
him in the
sleepy
morning.
time. Let's do this. Yeah.
Is there any
Yeah,
potions
why not?
kicking around here? They're huntsman guys. They might have something in the cabins, maybe, or they might have something on them. Can we ask?
A ransacking. Let's do a
Well,
ransacking.
let's ask them if they've got anything.
Oh,
healing
that's right. You're at
potions.
the hideout, but not back at the Foxglove Lodge, right? And
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
already
sure, yeah.
ransacked it, right? Okay, fine. You have, Seyda, you said it. You have another look through the cabins before you go, like pulling up floorboards, looking under straw beds, and you do in fact find 2 applications of that healing balm, of the
Nice.
kind that you found back at the lodge.
Yep.
And I believe that one application just did like 1d4 points, right? Or was it
Okay,
d6?
that
Did you write that down from when I gave it you the last time?
Was it I that got the balm?
You had the bomb.
Because I must have used it pretty quickly then.
I probably did write it down, actually. I'm just looking. I did. It's 1d4. So there are 2 applications of that if Bjorn wants to use it.
Can I use both?
I'll give you
Can I
both.
bomb up?
You can bomb up.
How much damage have you
let's
taken?
bomb you up.
I'm at... I took
8 out of
8
11, wasn't it? Yeah.
damage of my 11.
Okay, you apply the bombs to your contusions. Roll 2d4, please.
That's a 2. And that's a 2.
Okay, so you heal 4 points back.
That shit is the bomb!
You're feeling a little bit more like yourself now. And of course, some of those unsightly bruises clear up as if by magic or as if by balm.
But you're still pretty hard to look at.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so you all sleep the night in the hideout, and Hjani wakes up to the sound of the birds in the forest, the sunshine. You feel amazing. Your wounds have magically gone, and you have the last thing you remember was the battle at the hideout. You don't remember the grove at all, by the way, and you feel great.
Oh my goodness, it's almost like